welcome to the BSR Carrera Cup here on BSR TV. This is rounds 7, 8 and 9 tonight from Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, otherwise known as Mosport. And with me, Chris Cohen, this evening in the commentary box. Kyle Young, welcome to the show, Kyle.
Thank you very much, Chris. Glad to be here. Looking forward to it.
And also a very special guest at the pit lane this evening, Nick McCarran.
Good evening.
And this is only the second week of racing we're going to be having here in the Carrera Cup, because rounds 1, 2 and 3 Brands Hatch were actually postponed until next week. And you'd think 1, 2 and 3 would come at the start of the season, but oh no, iRacing had other ideas about that. So after last week's action at Silverstone, we are seeing, maybe we can go over and have a quick look at the scoreboard there. We are seeing an interesting story at the top of the scoreboard. Jan-Paul Niehaus was completely dominant for iRacing Denmark last time out, and Diego Comuni was no slow coach either for Team GT Italia. Those two 1 and 2, but also number 2, Anders Dahl on the same number of points as Comuni at the moment. And the first British entry there is 4th place Ian D. Smythe, 5th place is Michele Carrera, but again Team GT Italia and Team iRacing Denmark have 2 people each in the top 5 there. Tessier in 6th, Tusting, very good result for him, in 7th place so far. Nico Brandt in 8th, Michael Stephen 9th, and Liam Williams for Apex Racing UK is in 10th place. But Kyle, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park is one of the few Canadian circuits we actually have on the service.
Indeed it is, Chris, and it should throw these drivers through quite a challenge here tonight. It's a fairly narrow racetrack, so these guys really got to be careful when they're running side by side not to make a mistake heading into a corner or coming off to slide up and make some contact. I know once you get through the first few turns, then you head down into that hairpin, it can get really, really tight and scary through there. So that'll be a bit of a challenge here for these guys tonight. A fairly shorter track than most. It only takes just under a minute and a half or so to run around this place. So, but it does have some fairly long straightaways and some fairly fast speeds at this track. So it is a bit smaller, a little narrow, but it does supply some fast speeds and some really, really good racing.
And turn 2 is one we're going to be watching out for. You come around the right-hander and then there's a kind of left-hander which is steeply downhill, and the outside of that corner is particularly treacherous. There's a lot of runoff there, and there's a nasty wall on the outside, and with so many cars going through all in one go, it's going to be interesting to see. We should have 47 cars on the grid in this particular race. Nick, you'll be picking up the back of the field for us.
I'm going to do my best for you.
So it will be very interesting to see how these guys get on. I mean, we've seen a fantastic time from Comuni in the qualifying. Diego managed to get in the 120s, and he was the only man in the session that I was particularly watching to do so. But of course, with so many drivers out there, we've got more than one qualifying session. Let's just give you a rundown of how this works this evening. We've got 3 races, the first of which is on your screen right now and you're listening to it right now. The second of which is coming your way at 9:30 UK time, and the third of which is 10 past 10 UK time. So it's plenty of opportunity. Even if you don't finish one of these, Kyle, you've got 2 more races to kind of make up the places that you might have lost.
Yeah, absolutely, and the good thing about that is the fact that these races aren't too long either, so you're not sitting out on the sidelines waiting forever to get your shot to get back into the car. So that'll be really important to try to maximize your night tonight, is to try to stay out of trouble and be able to survive all 3 races. With these races being so short, you don't have a lot of time to make the moves to get your finish. So for those guys mid-pack to the back of the field, you know, they're going to feel that added pressure to try to get themselves to the front of the field and into a decent finishing spot. Yes, there are 3 races. You probably could sacrifice 1 race to have a poor finish, but every race counts, every point counts. We all know that. So it should be very interesting to see what kind of strategies for those drivers midfield on back try to use to work their way through the field and maximize their night.
And we've got about 40 seconds before we go down to the grid here. I'm just wondering if we can have a quick look at the team standings, because remember that $100 prize is on offer for the winning team at the end of the season. And it's Team GT Italia who are out in front by quite a wide margin actually. They have 712 points versus FT9 Craft Racing's. They have 591. ESImages.net are in 3rd place, iRacing Denmark in 4th place, and Epicuri Banana 5th. JCL Sim Racing in 6th, but look at that 4th, 5th and 6th, all very close on the points. Then there's a bit of a gap back to Apex Rig Racing UK in 7th, Redline Racing 8th, Orica Matma in 9th, and Pseudo Racing are in 10th place, but there's a lot of points on offer. You can see 712 points there, just gathered by one team from 3 races in one evening, Kyle.
Yeah, that is very, very insane to gather that many points, and it gives these guys a huge opportunity to capitalize for not only themselves but for their entire team. So those team standings are definitely going to be a fun thing to watch throughout the entire season. Seeing that we're just so early in just one race into the season, you can see how well that they've already been constructed.
Well, we head down to the grid now, and Kamuni takes pole with a fantastic 120.7. That's a full 2/10 faster than anyone else on the grid. Ben Tusting taking 2nd place. Egil Sandfeld in 3rd, Anders Dahl in 4th, and Niehaus, who was so dominant at Silverstone, is only down there in 5th place. I say only 5th place will do him, I'm sure, but it'll be interesting to see what he can do. And here we go, we're ready to go racing now from Mosport for round 7 of the Carrera Cup. As we've got lights, they go green, and we're away. So let's see if Kamuni can hold it down into the first corner for GT Italia. He does. Hopefully Nick's got his eye on the back of the field for us. Oh, a little slide there from Tusting, but keeps it under control. And well, everyone's away through turn 1 so far. As far as I can see, it's difficult to make out. There's just too many cars there. And already Kamuni looks set to extend his lead.
Everyone in the back through, no problems at the moment.
Well, that's a fantastic job, isn't it? Really, really good from everybody there. And what's happened to Niehaus? Where is Niehaus? I believe he might have started from the pits. Did he not grid? Oh, he's got some damage. So what happened to Jan-Paul Niehaus? Let's see if we can maybe find out from Nick what happened to him at the start of the race.
I'm on it.
So he got into somebody there. Him and looking, I think it was the 41 machine. Yeah, him and the 41 machine made a little contact there in turn number 1, and he got the car sideways, slid it into that inside wall. Not hard contact, but just looking at him trying to crawl away, it looks like it hurt that car pretty significantly as he drops all the way to the rear of the field.
So just coming round to the end of the first lap now. Diego Kamuni with a 1-second advantage over Ben Tusting, just showing why he was able to qualify 2/10 quicker than anybody else. Tusting holding on to 2nd, but not by much, with Sandfeld and Dahl close behind. Tusting's got to watch out here because he's got a lot of pressure from behind him.
That he does that 89 machine all over the rear bumper here, and he, you know, he's trying to make that move really quick as he peeks to the inside of him there. Can't get anything done there as they work their way down into and heading to the tightest part of this course here. Really, really heavy braking. Oh wow, he got really, really close to that rear bumper on entry there. He's able to slow the car down and back off them, give him some room. So a near catastrophe right there, and now they'll head down the straightaway and see if maybe he can't get a draft pull and try to pull out and slingshot around him.
Now, it's interesting you call that straight, but technically it isn't straight, but it's twisty and it's got a lot of bumps on it as well. As we see Sandfeld side by side here with Tusting. He's got the outside, so he won't be able to make the pass here in the number 89. But he's thinking about making the move. He's trying to line Tusting up for the pass because Kamuni now has a a 2-second advantage. And what about further down the field, Nick?
Well, Stephen Hu just got sideswiped by somebody going into the little hairpin at the bottom there. He's not going to be happy about that.
It's a shame for Hu, who generally runs very well in these series. Just look how close now Sandfeld is, and his teammate Anders Dahl as well is just behind this little battle we've got going on here. But Tusting doing everything he can at the moment to hold on to second place. Runs a little bit wide. Perhaps Sandfeld was thinking about making a move there, but no dice at the moment. And where's the best place for Sandfeld to get round, do you think, Kyle? I'm not sure if we've lost Kyle Young. Kyle, are you still there? Let's continue without him for the moment. He might be having some kind of connection issue that we're not aware of. Just to let you know, 7th place at the moment is Andreas Katz for esimages.net. And coming down the field a little bit, Angelo De Mella is in 8th. Smythe for Epicuri Banana in 9th. And Dean Prescott is currently rounding out the top 10. Well, we've got some new drivers there. George Wright in 11th, and Robert De Roy, I hope that's how you pronounce his name, no idea, but he is in 12th position at the moment, as we see Sandfeld almost getting down the inside of Tusting once again. And it looks like Tusting actually acting like a little bit of a roadblock here, because Kamuni now has a 3-second lead up at the front after only 4 laps of this race. And Tusting's lap time is 0.8 of a second slower per lap than Kamuni, who is going to be running away with this. And his GT Italia teammates, Kamuni for GT Italia, Palumbo is the next GT Italia man in 5th place, and Luigi Nespolino in 6th. So GT Italia right now have 1, 5, 6 and 8, so 4 positions in the top 10, and that is the way to do things in this series. Are we back with you, Kyle? We still have no Kyle Young, unfortunately, so we will carry on without him. But how are the guys getting on in outside the top 10, Nick?
Yeah, there's all okay at the moment. There don't seem to be much drama going on. I'm trying to flick around and see everything, but of course it's such a big field, it's very difficult to see everything that's going on.
And just seen Simon Field just get one of those corners wrong and dropped a few places, I noticed, from hitting the grass. Mistake from De Mella. Wow, not sure what happened to Angelo De Mella, whether it was a mistake or perhaps some contact, but he has dropped right down the field, now in 15th place. And just after I was talking about how well those guys were doing for GT Italia, although 15th still not to be sniffed out, he now has Liam Williams right in front of him, and Jamie Wilson just in front of him as well. So it's all to do for Angelo De Mella as we come on to lap 5 out of 10 here at Mosport. Meanwhile, up at the front of the field, Diego Kamuni, 3.5 seconds out in front as we reach the halfway point, and showing no signs of slowing down. His qualifying pace was 1:20.7. His race pace is 1:21.0, so he's only 0.3 off his qualifying pace. And that is faster than most people's qualifying laps. It's faster than almost the entire field's qualifying laps. So the Italian, with absolutely fantastic pace here in Canada, in the number 21, doesn't look like, unless he has any kind of incidents or mistakes, anyone is going to be able to challenge him here. In that second place battle at the moment, Ben Tusting for FT9 Craft is still going. He has managed to keep Sandfeld behind him, and Dahl behind him, and Palumbo behind him, so no moves up front. But remember, these guys only gain 1 extra point for making the overtake, so the difference between winning at 60 points and coming second at 59 points is minimal. So even though Ben Tusting is 3.5 seconds down he's only going to lose the race by 1 point. He's going to lose out on 1 point, I should say. So it doesn't really matter if he doesn't win. Let's go a little bit further down now. Ian Smythe currently running in 8th place. Smythe's having a good race so far. He's got a little bit of clean air in front and behind. Cat's 1 second in front of him in 7th place in a lovely green, purple and yellow machine with Kong there on the bonnet, the gorilla face of Epicure Banana, and Dean Prescott is just behind him. I can't say he's closing, but Prescott is about a second behind. So did we find out, Nick, what happened to Angelo De Mella? How come he dropped so many places so quickly?
I haven't been able to see that, I'm afraid.
Okay, maybe we can find that one out in the break then. George Wright, at the moment for Greenlight Racing, is defending from an entire gaggle of cars there. That's Robert DeRoy just behind him. Just looking for the pass now in the number 79. He looks like he's down the inside. It's going to be the outside of the next corner though. As we come into turn number 2, it's going to be difficult for... Yeah, DeRoy can't make the pass there, but he is all over the back of George Wright. And Alain Tessier for JCL Sim Racing is right behind these guys. And don't forget about Jamie Wilson either, who is right behind all of this lot. And just in the background there, Liam Williams, and you can see it recovering, Angelo De Mella as well. So Wright has his work absolutely cut out, keeping all of these guys behind him. What's going to give before the end of the race, as we're on lap 7 now, maybe 3 laps to go. So what is going to give here? Something's got to give, surely. We can't have all these cars racing quite so close together. And De Mella should have more pace than all of these guys. So could be seeing him close up on the back of this group, Nick.
Yeah, it's looking like that could happen.
So Liam Williams at the moment running in 40. Oh, we just got a back marker there. I thought that might cause some issues, but it's pulled safely off the track. Liam Williams kind of picking up the back of this main group at the moment. Meanwhile, up front, Communi's lead is staying steady. He's eased off the pace there, staying steady about the 4-second mark. So pretty much wrapped up as far as the winner goes in this race. But look at De Mella now, right on the back of these guys. He is going to be pressing to get those positions back. Whatever happened to him earlier in the race, going to be extremely frustrated and want to get higher than 15th. Simon Field is just behind these guys in 16th. Stanimir Zuzov is in 17th. And Ricardo Schiavon is in 18th behind these guys as well. You can see them all just coming up the hill now. Not a lot separating these guys at all. And it's pretty much unchanged in the top 10. I have to say, everybody's running around the same kind of pace, keeping it nice and steady. So Alain Tessier is now coming under threat from Jamie Wilson. Can Wilson get any kind of purchase here? He can't seem to get round that GTL sim racing car just in front of him. But look at De Mella now. De Mella's down the inside, and DeRoy's down the inside as well. So DeRoy has taken... He's taken 10th. He's taken... No, he hasn't. Has he? They're side by side. Well, Angelo De Mella is past Liam Williams, back up into 14th place. He means business, although he's only got 2 laps left. But look at DeRoy. Robert DeRoy is right on the tail of Wright, and he is determined to get past by any means necessary. Look at that, the number 79 needs to get his nose down the inside, doesn't do it. Wow, that's close. And all of this is backing up the traffic just behind, and it looks to me like Wright, just at the lead of this group, has got a very poor exit as we come onto the main straight of this circuit here. This could allow DeRoy, he's got down the inside. And Wright just forced into that defensive move, which has cost him on the exit. DeRoy makes the pass finally, which puts him up into 10th place. And that was a long time coming. He fought hard for that one, Nick.
Yeah, he did, and he almost squeezed him onto the grass to say, you ain't coming past on that side, mate.
It's only 1 point the difference though, so interesting to see these guys fighting out so hard for position here. But Communi's lead still 3.5 seconds. We are now on the last lap. it's pretty much all sealed up, so the only thing really going on the track in terms of position is this battle here. And let's see what De Mella does before the end of this race, because he's in 14th now, but could be 13th, depending on what he decides to do on the last lap, because we know he's got the pace.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, sometimes I think these guys don't always think about the points. I mean, they're racers, and they want positions, they want overtakes, they want to be in front. They don't want to follow somebody. They want to lead.
Absolutely, we've seen, especially once you make a mistake, you want to get back to at least the position you were in before, and kind of resume. And down the inside of Jamie Wilson goes Angelo De Mella, but Jamie Wilson has managed to get alongside Alain Tessier as well. So Tessier is now acting like a roadblock. He's kind of boxed De Mella in here, but let's go to the front because Comuni rounding the last corner now to take the race by only 2.5 seconds in the end, easing off to get round a back marker, and takes the race in convincing style there. Absolutely fantastic from Comuni. No one can argue with that. Deserved winner as well, from pole to flag. Ben Tusting comes home second, Sandfeld third, Dahl fourth, Palumbo in fifth place, Nespolino 6th, Andreas Katz in 7th, Smythe 8th, Prescott 9th, and as we saw in that battle there, Robert De Roy comes home in 10th place, edging out George Wright for that final top 10 position. Not that it matters too much in terms of points, because it's only 1 point difference, but of course reverse grid is going to mean that Robert De Roy is going on pole for the second race. I'll just check with the race directors, just maybe they can give me a word in my ear to make sure that it is a top 10 reverse grid for race 2. That's just confirmed, so thanks to them for that. That it's going to put Robert De Roy on pole position, and still no sign of Kyle Young. So I'm alone with Nick in the commentary box, which is almost always a dangerous proposition.
I've heard that Carl is back, but he's just having problems getting the door open into this commentary box.
We'll get him a can of WD-40 or something. So after that race, Comuni will probably be top of the table, I believe. But don't forget that the prize on offer here is it's going to be for the team championship. So $100 goes to the winning team there, which means that doesn't matter where you finish in the driver championship, you've got to have 5 drivers, if you can, who all turn out and all earn good points. Now that's going to be key, and we can't work out the mental arithmetic for that with such a large field in our head. All the standings, of course, on bsrtv.net. Kyle rejoins, so welcome back, Kyle.
You guys got me now?
We have indeed. Just at the end of the first broadcast as well. That brings race 1 to a close in exciting fashion. 2 more races coming your way this evening, so you need to advance to the next YouTube video on the BSR TV YouTube page, or wherever you happen to be watching. You can watch it all on bsrtv.net or straight on the YouTube channel. The next video will be with you from 9:30 UK time. So from me and Kyle and Nick in the commentary box, hope you can join us in about 15 minutes time.